Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It's time for another Arrow announcement. Just one title this time, one super fancy, elaborate box set, which is the Bruce Lee collection at Golden Harvest. Now, kind of curious about this. It's the first big box set they've done of UHDs, which is kind of interesting. They've picked a kind of iconic figure and set to release. And to be honest, it's something that I'm not overly familiar with. So let's dive in and have a little look at this set. So here we have Bruce Lee at the Golden Harvest. Now I'm looking at the limited edition 4K UHD set. There is a Blu-ray set as well, which is £10 cheaper. It's £120. The release date is the 17th of July, which isn't that far away, realistically. So let's jump into it. When former child actor and Hollywood TV sidekick Bruce Lee returned to his native Hong Kong in 1971 to star in two films for fledgling company Golden Harvest, movie history was made thanks to one of the most iconic partnerships between star and studio that cinema has ever seen. The first two starring vehicles for Lee, The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, both directed by Lo Wei, smashed all box office records in Hong Kong and made him the most famous face on the continent. Lee asserted his artistic independence by directing, writing and starring in The Way of the Dragon, arguably his most thrilling and personal film. Tragically, on the cusp of achieving international stardom he had long strived for, Bruce Lee died suddenly in 1973. Not to be outdone by the tidal wave of Bruceploitation films that followed, Golden Harvest completed two posthumous films using unreleased footage, 1978's Game of Death and its 1981 sequel, as well as two official documentaries. This definitive collection features fresh and exclusive 4K restorations by Arrow Video from the best available film materials, hours of brand new bonus features, and previously unreleased footage, including the extended Mandarin cut of The Big Boss, now 10 minutes longer than any version ever released in video worldwide, and a never before seen log fight from the original Game of Death shoot, is the ultimate tribute to Bruce Lee's enduring legacy and fruitful collaboration with Golden Harvest. A limited 10-disc UHD and Blu-ray collection contents. So we have 4K restorations of The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon and Game of Death, and a 2K restoration of Game of Death 2. These are all 4K Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible versions of The Big Boss, The Mandarin Cut, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon and Game of Death. High-def presentations of the Hong Kong cut of Game of Death 2, Bruce Lee, the Man in Legend, and Bruce Lee, the Legend. Newly restored original Mandarin, English, and Cantonese audio, newly translated English subtitles plus subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, multiple alternate cuts on most films, including the extended Mandarin cut of The Big Boss, English export cuts of The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, the Japanese cut of The Way of the Dragon, Hong Kong cuts of Game of Death and Game of Death 2, brand new feature commentaries by David Desser, Jonathan Clements, Frank Jeng, Michael Worth, Brandon Bentley, and Mike Leader. Kind of who's who of Asian cinema commentaries there. Return to Thailand, a new documentary by Matt Routledge on the original locations for The Big Boss. Newly uncovered deleted scenes from The Big Boss, plus a video essay by Bentley about scenes still missing, such as the saw and the head kill. Legend of the Dragon, a brand new 80-minute overview of Lee's career by film critic and historian Tony Raines. I love Tony Raines' material that he did on the Shaw Brothers sets, so this would be something I'd be interested in checking out. Two new documentaries on Lee's fighting and working methods, featuring various interviews with people he worked with and experts. Brand new interviews with various actors, plus hours of archival interviews with Lee's former co-stars. The Final Game of Death, a brand new feature-length video essay by Arrow Films on Lee's original vision for the Game of Death, featuring a new 2K restoration of the footage directed by Lee in 1972. 40th anniversary special edition Blu-ray of Enter the Dragon with archival extras, archival featurettes, The Hong Kong Connection, Bruce Lee Remembered, Legacy of the Dragon, Dragon Rising, The Grandmaster and the Dragon. Comprehensive trailer and image galleries for each film, limited edition packaging, 200-page hardbound book, 24 lobby cards, 10 glossy photos, reversible poster, and much, much more. Full artwork and extras reveal on the 28th of April, Friday. So it's a rammed set. It looks like a massive box set. Let's have a look at the just product details. See, it just tells you 10 discs. Doesn't say how many are UHD. I think I read somewhere that it was 7. It's a beast of a set. It's a kind of statement. It's expensive, but I think if you're getting, 7 UHDs, I think it is maybe, and 3 Blu-rays, 200-page book, you're getting pretty much Bruce Lee's filmography there. It's a shame Into the Dragon isn't in 4K as well. I think it's the only one that's really kind of missing from that. It's an interesting package. Now, personally, I've seen Into the Dragon countless times. The other Bruce Lee films, I'm unsure whether I've seen them, seen snippets, actually sat down and watched them. So it's a complete unknown. Although I've seen many clips, I don't know if I've actually sat and watched the movies. So it's a really interesting prospect for me as someone who's not really that familiar with the character. Like I said, there is the Blu-ray version of this as well, which includes 10 discs, which is £110. And there is the alternate artwork, which I kind of like as well, which is available only from the Arrow store. It's a big purchase. It's an expensive release, but it looks like the kind of definitive Bruce Lee edition, which makes me kind of interested, especially as I'm so lacking in knowledge of that performer, really, and his actual work. So it's something to think about. Definitely something that I may look at, especially with those HMV 20% off things that I posted about in the community tab a while ago. Getting 20% off, getting it for a nice price, 96, makes it a little bit more palatable, but it's still a lot of money. So what I want to know from you is, I'm assuming there's going to be lots of Bruce Lee fans out there, people who have seen his movies. Is this something that's truly exciting for you? Something that's not as exciting? Something that you're going to pass on or going to pick up? Please let me know in the comment box below why I should get this, why maybe I shouldn't pick this one up. Would you like to see me cover this on the channel? Let me know in the comment box below. While you're down there, hit the like button because it really helps these videos. There's more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. And in the description box below are links to the Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, and maybe even a GoFundMe to buy it. It won't be there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.